Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen? The day of caring 2026?
Yes.
Yay. Okay. Well, hello, everybody. We will get started. This is our Day of Caring Lunch and Learn. So, Day of Caring will be back this year, May 14th, 2026. Whoop whoop. That is, again, Thursday, May 14th, 2026. And we are super excited and looking forward to this year. So, just to get started, meeting the Day of Caring team. So, my name is Shakana Robertson. I am the Director of Marketing and Events for United Way. We also have Miss Louise Strati, our Director of 211, and then we have Miss Kimberly Williams, our Director of Community Impact. And a couple other lovely ladies that are not on the screen, but that are playing a valuable role in our Day of Caring preparation is Miss Lori Beeman. She is our new Director of Donor Relations. And then Miss Keely Fergus. She is our VP of Donor Relations. So you will hear from at least one of us, of five women, as we get Day of Caring started and make it happen for this year. So, for those of you who are new to our newer nonprofit friends, what is Day of Caring? Well, let's talk about it. So, Day of Caring is United Way of NWLA's largest community service event, bringing together volunteers and nonprofits to create meaningful impact. So, on this day, what United Way does is we recruit and organize volunteers, and we send volunteer teams to our nonprofit friends to complete projects that you all have. So, these projects are usually things that we know can't get done due to lack of funding, or due to manpower. As nonprofits, we usually don't have the manpower, so we rely heavily on volunteers to help us carry out our mission and do the good work in the community. So a typical volunteer team ranges between five volunteers to up to 25 volunteers. And so, based on your project needs, we match you with a volunteer team to help accomplish the goals and the projects that you have. So, kind of the details. This is our day of agenda. So, again, Day of Caring is Thursday, May 14th this year. So, the doors will open at 7:30 a.m. Our kickoff pep rally breakfast, whoop whoop, will begin at 8:15 a.m. and that will be at Live Casino again this year in their ballroom. And then at 10 a.m. projects will begin. So we dismiss our volunteers and project coordinators about 9:45 a.m. from the pep rally breakfast. That way everybody has enough travel time to make it to their projects. So hopefully we can start at 10 a.m. Now, let's talk about the pep rally kickoff breakfast. So, how it works is everybody will check in upon arrival. So, we will have tickets. You will show us your ticket at check in. At the breakfast, you can also purchase grand raffle prize tickets. And then you will find your organization's name on our seating chart and then have a seat so you can enjoy a nice warm breakfast. So, at the kickoff, we serve you breakfast because we understand that our project coordinators, as long as well with our volunteers, are going out to do hard work for our community that day. So we make sure to feed you. We have some live entertainment planned. We'll give away some raffle prizes. And it'll be just all around a really great time to get everybody engaged and hyped up about the day in order to go out and do the good work for the community. So I do just want to mention this because I know in the past we have had a t-shirt exchange table, but just to note, again, this year we will not have a t-shirt exchange table at the breakfast. So I just want everybody to keep that in mind as you are filling out your project submission forms and designating the t-shirt size. So just to give you a little bit of idea for those of you who are newer to United Way's Day of Caring, just a few ideas on projects. So, as one United Way project, we assemble 1,500 essential need kits that we distribute with our friends at the American Red Cross. And this is in case of emergencies, disasters. One big way we were able to use these kits one year is when we had those fires in Sabine Parish. We were able to partner with the Red Cross and get those kits out there to those families. A way that this project overall came about and how we started it at Day of Caring is we experienced a hurricane, I believe it's Hurricane Laura, and from that hurricane, we received evacuees from a nursing home, so our elderly neighbors. And when they came to us, all they had on was their soaked gowns. That was it. They had no bags, no personal items, just their soaked gowns. And we were able to get them the essential needs that they needed, such as socks, clothes, hygiene items. However, it took us about 72 hours to get that. And we realized that's entirely too long for anybody to have to sit there already in a traumatizing experience and then have to sit there on top of that in their soaked gowns, and that's all they had. So that's when we had the idea to create these essential need kits. So we pack 1,500 every year at Day of Caring. That way, in the events of hurricanes or any other natural disasters or even just house fires, then we have families who will be able to receive these kits immediately. So that's just kind of the background on why this is one of our projects that we do every year. A couple of other project examples, and I'll share more later on, but a couple of other ones that United Way is doing this year is snack pack kits, and we're also doing a donation drive this year. So, along with the project submissions and the forms, I also want to talk about the release and waiver. So in the past, our release and waiver have has been physical copies that everybody had to sign, but this year it is all digital. Everything is online. So you don't have to worry about a physical copy. Whenever you are filling out your project submission form online, the very last part of that form is the release and waiver. So there will be a checkbox for you to click, and then the release and waiver will be in a box for you to read it. Please, my friends, read the release and waiver before you check it off. Now, do note, if you're working on your submission form, you cannot move forward without checking that box. And then just know that that one agreement works for everyone. Okay, so more to the fun part, the pairing projects, which I know everybody is so excited to see. Just a note, you will be notified by United Way of the final pairings by April 15th. So, United Way, what we do when we pair these projects and what we're looking for is that United Way will pair these volunteer teams with one of your nonprofit projects, and then we will notify the team captain and also notify you as our nonprofit partner as well. And so I know we have a lot of requests of our nonprofit friends that would love to be with certain companies and vice versa. So we just want to make a note that projects are approved or denied based on how your team matches or how the volunteer team matches with your specific project requirements. So an example of what that means is if you have a volunteer project that only needs 5 volunteers, we won't send you a company with 20 volunteers on their team. And vice versa. If you need a project covered by 15 volunteers, we won't send you a group of volunteers that are only 5 on there, that have only 5 on their team. So we just want to keep that in mind when we are making these pairings for your projects. Now, another big thing are our Day of Caring t-shirts. So along with project parents, we are also doing our t-shirt pickup day, which is Thursday, April 30th this year, and that is in our new United Way conference room. So if you've come to t-shirt pickup before, And if you come and met us at the parking lot, it's still that same building. We are still at 820 Jordan Street. The only difference is this year, you will come inside and come up to Suite 370, and our staff will direct you to the conference room. Now, t-shirt pickup will be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And for our project coordinators, if you cannot make it that day, that is okay. Please feel free to send a designee or another team member to come and collect the shirts. So, again, if you're new, if this is your first day of carrying with us, t-shirt pickup day is a very light day. So, you'll come into the conference room. We have your t-shirts packed already in the bag. You'll pick up the bag. We may go over just a few notes with you, and then you're on your way out. And that's it. So it's a very light day. If you cannot make it at all, if you have a team member that cannot make it, please email us, let us know, and we'll make the proper arrangements to get those shirts to you. Now, a few more event details for my nonprofit friends. So, we are sticking to hard deadlines this year. So, the official deadline for project submissions is Friday, March 27th at 11:59 p.m. Again, that is March 27th at 11:59 p.m. Now, we will have a late submission period, which will be March 30th through April 1st, but late fees will be assessed. So I just want to make that known. We also want you to get them in as soon as possible. You know, these are projects that you need completed. We want to make sure that we have enough volunteers for you, and we want to make sure that everything flows smoothly and is effective for you as our nonprofit friends and for our volunteers as well. And so getting these submissions done ahead of time, getting them done by the deadlines that we create is what helps to overall make it an enjoyable experience for everyone. So, those are our deadlines. Projects. Now, I do want to say we do recommend and require a contingency plan. So, please make sure you have one, especially if you have an outside project. Make sure you have a backup plan. In the event that we have bad weather, because it has happened at the day of carrying before, or in the event that your team finishes early. So just making sure you have a contingency plan. And then capacity. Project coordinators are allowed 3 complimentary Day of Caring t-shirts, just like last year for your project coordinators, if you have more than one. And then from there, any other additional t-shirts will be charged by $5. And so that is all on your project submission form. Once you go to complete it online on our website, it will ask you for t-shirt sizes and if you need additional ones, and you can pay via the form on our website. So, this is volunteer event details. So, I want to share this with my nonprofit friends that like to submit projects and have a volunteer team because that is incredible. And we welcome that. Please feel free. One, feel free to submit multiple projects. You don't have to submit just one. If you have more than one items that you would like completed to help you further your mission, that's what Day of Caring is here for. So please feel free to submit more than one more than one project, excuse me. And then also, if you would like to have a volunteer team, you are more than welcome to do that as well. So, here are just a few event details for my nonprofit friends that want to have a volunteer team also. So, we do have a registration fee. So, if you ran a 2025 United Way campaign, you will receive a discount code, and that discount code is 50% off, which makes your registration $5 per person. Now, if you did not run a United Way campaign in 2025, the total charge will be $10 per person as your registration fee. Now, if you are committed, if you say we didn't run a campaign in 2025, but we would love to run one in 2026, if you connect with me and let me know, hey, Shakana, we would love to commit to running a 2026 campaign, I will connect you to Miss Lori Beeman, who I mentioned earlier. And if you schedule a meeting with Lori before Day of Caring, so before May 14th, And if you start planning your campaign, then you will be able to receive the discount code as well, making that registration fee $5 per person for your team. And just other quick notes, event sponsors receive a discount, and then our Spirit Award winners are exempt as well. Because if you have a volunteer team, you're also eligible to participate and run for the Spirit Award. So, just quick notes. Again, hard deadlines is what we're sticking to this year. So, you will realize that the volunteer registrations and our project submissions have the same date. If you want to create a volunteer team, you must register your team by 11:59 p.m. March 27th. So again, if you would like to have a volunteer team, that registration also ends at 11:59 p.m. on March 27th. Again, a late registration period applies to volunteer teams as well, and in April 1st, where late fees will be assessed. So just making that note. And then when it comes to capacity, this year teams cannot exceed 25 participants. We cannot go beyond 25 participants. We want to have as many of you there at Day of Caring, but again, as I mentioned earlier, just to make sure everything is effective, the day is enjoyable, and it flows smoothly for everybody, we cannot exceed 25 volunteers per team. So we will have a total of 500 volunteers. And this is why it's so important to go ahead and get your project submitted now and go ahead and register your volunteer team if that's what you would like to do as well. We have a cap. We understand that Day of Caring is beloved by our community. We love that you guys are so enthusiastic about it and that you love it so much. However, this year we do have to have a 500 total volunteer cap. So I just want to make that known. Like I said, go ahead and get your projects and get your volunteer teams registered now. Now, let's jump back into project planning. So, what does this look like, especially for our newer nonprofit friends who are joining Day of Caring this year? So, brainstorm. What is on your wish list? So, I want you all to think about the projects that you say, if you and your team are saying, I wish we could get this done, or if only we had more people, we can do this. Bring those projects, submit those projects. That's what Day of Caring is here for. And then when you're thinking about your projects, determine the project type. Will you have one large project, or do you need to submit several smaller projects? Think about the number of volunteers you'll need as well. And then this is a big one. Think about staff capacity. Will you have enough coverage? We cannot leave volunteers unattended, so please make sure that you have enough staff to cover all the projects that you are submitting. And then also think, do you need these volunteers to have a certain skill level? And then here's the contingency plan that we mentioned again. Like I said, any event that we have unfavorable weather, because one Day of Caring, we had tornadoes. We had an active tornado on the ground. So just thinking about things like that. And then when you are planning your projects and submitting your projects, make sure you think through the supplies and tools that you will need to provide for your volunteers as well. And then I told you we come back to a few more project examples. So some of the projects that you could submit are whether it's landscaping, gardening projects, painting and refurbishing. If you need help sorting and organizing items, clerical work, our volunteers would love to do that also. Light construction projects, event preparation, deep cleaning, get creative. Like I said, talk with your team. Think about those projects that you say, oh, I wish we could do this. If only we had the manpower. If only we had the staff. If only we had the money to do this. Then that's where these projects come into play. Okay, a few tips before event day. So again, I want to encourage everybody, please submit your project by March 27th at 11:59 p.m. Okay? Also, communicate with your team captain multiple times. And so this comes after the project pairing process. So once we connect you with your volunteer team, please feel free to communicate with the team captain as much as you need to make sure that everything goes according to plan on May 14th. And then also confirm the number of volunteers that you'll need. This comes before you submit your project when you're thinking it through. And then schedule a site visit if necessary. When we do the project pairings, we're going to connect you, our nonprofit partners, with the team captains. So if you believe that it'd be best for the team captain to come and view your project site before day of caring, by all means, please invite them to do so. And then also discuss additional details with your team and with the team captain. So if you have an outdoor project and so you need your volunteers to dress in shorts, or you need to make sure that they're in clothes that they don't mind getting dirty. Think about that with dress code. Also, parking. If your nonprofit has specific parking regulations or a specific parking lot in a different area that you need to make mention, think about those details. And then, are you providing lunch or snacks to your volunteers? And then also, before the event day, before May 14th, please gather all necessary supplies and materials that you'll need. And then, of course, our pickup t-shirt day, which is April 30th, again, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So, event day tips now. Attend the kickoff breakfast. We would love to see you, love to have you. And I understand some of our nonprofit friends will not be able to join us because you're prepping that morning for the volunteers to come. But if you can, please come out to the breakfast. Let us know. Reach out to our staff. Let us know that you're coming. And then also, if you have other team members, maybe you can't make it as the project coordinator because you're prepping for that day or that day of. If you have team members that can come in your place, please send them over to come hang out with us for the kickoff breakfast. And then when your volunteers get to your project, please give them a brief description, excuse me, a brief overview or a brief description of your mission. And then provide clear instructions for them. That way, again, everything just goes smoothly and the volunteers are getting the most out of the day, and so are you as the nonprofit. And then have materials and tools ready to go. And then be available. Please do not leave the project site unsupervised. In the event of an emergency or an unexpected situation, the last thing we want is for our volunteers to not have anybody there for them. And then also, as our volunteers are out doing the good work for you all and for our community, please supply them with water. All right. And then one of the things that I know many people are looking forward to, if you will have a volunteer team, is the Spirit Award. So, how do you earn Spirit Award points? Well, number one is dressing up. So, this is also where attending the kickoff breakfast comes in. So, dressing up. This year's theme is dun, 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 dun. It is Crew of Caring. So it is a Mardi Gras crew. Think Mardi Gras. So the purples, the yellows, the greens. So when we mention dressing up, for if you choose to wear costumes, that will get you Spirit Award points. And also we want you to come dressed as floats. It is a Mardi Gras theme. It's and on top of that, the second way kind of might lead into our second way you can win Spirit Award points is by participating. So, because it is Crew of Caring, we are doing a parade at Live Casino. So, wear your floats, or if you want to create the shoebox floats and have the shoebox float go around in a parade, you're more than welcome to do that. That also counts as you participating. So, come dress as floats or bring a shoebox float to participate in the parade. And then also the last thing, as always, that we do is posting on Facebook. Now, I want to say, if you want to post on TikTok, if you want to post on Instagram or other social media, by all means, please feel free to do so. We would love to see it all over the internet. But the only social media platform that will count towards your Spirit Award points is Facebook. So I just want to make that clear. Posting on Facebook is what gets you Spirit Award points. But you are more than welcome to post on TikTok, Instagram, all the other social media platforms if you would like. So, just a few helpful reminders as we are coming up today of caring. My contact information, again, my name is Shakana. I am the director of marketing and events. If you call and you need to reach me, you can also reach me at my email, shakana@unitedwaynwla.org, or you can reach me at my cell, 318-505-2506. And I'm constantly ripping and running. If I don't answer your phone call, please feel free to leave a voicemail or send me a text message, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And then for social media, so again, Facebook is the only platform that will give you Spirit Award points. So please post on Facebook. And then as you post, use the hashtag DOC2026. And then remember to tag us because we want to make sure that we can see it so we can count your post towards your Spirit Award. Again, use the hashtag DOC2026 and make sure to tag us at United Way of Northwest Louisiana on Facebook. And then, just another helpful reminder, we will have media on site at our different projects and locations. So, project coordinators, just be aware that you may be asked to do an interview, and also our team captains there at your project site as well. All right, and so this is our QR code again for our nonprofit friends that like to have a volunteer team as well. You can scan this QR code or you can use the link at the bottom. Again, if you want to have a volunteer team, the registration deadline is March 27th. Please register your team by 11:59 p.m. on March 27th. That is a Friday. And then this is our QR code if you would like to submit your project. So this is for you for sure. Again, submission deadline is March 27th. That's a Friday at 11:59 p.m. So you can scan this QR code or you can use the link at the bottom. So we just want to give a big thank you to everybody who has participated in Day of Caring before. Again, we are so thankful that you guys are just as enthusiastic about this event as we are. And I want to thank you to everybody who is new and who is just coming aboard the United Way family this year for Day of Caring. It's going to be another great year. And again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or to one of my team members, and we'd be more than happy to help. So, again, I just want to thank everybody. We greatly appreciate you all. Like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our team. All right, thank you all so much.